This right here, it stands up and it's real darn cute. It is $74.99. $74.99. I literally was thinking about it. I was like, can I make this for like $2? Because I have a feeling I can. Let me get cute. Hello everyone and welcome back to This Is Real Life. I'm your host Sheri and today we are in the garage. I feel like we haven't been in the garage in a while and I was kind of missing it. I went to the Ulta last week for some skincare stuff, and then right next to the Ulta is Kirkland's. I don't know if you guys have this, and every time I think of Kirkland's I just think of the Costco brand Kirkland, but this is not the same. This Kirkland is like a home decor store. They have some really cute stuff. Always for the holidays they have tons of cute stuff. And I was just in there looking around to get inspiration. And let me tell you, I was inspired. And what I saw, this right here, it doesn't look like much on the internet. However, it is pretty cute for the holidays. It's 47 inches high, 27 inches wide. It stands up. It has a little kickstand in the back so that you can put it in your front yard, and it stands up and it's real darn cute. It is 2 different boards, I guess you could say. So on close-up version, you can see, looks like old fence board as the backer and then white board as the front for the snowman. Our wooden Let It Snow Snowman Plaque. I don't know why they call it a plaque because it is huge. Its shiplap design and simple detail makes it the perfect farmhouse accessory for the holiday season. It comes ready to wall mount with no additional hanging hardware necessary. And that's true. In addition, because I saw this in real life, in addition to like the kickstand, there are 2 wall hangers. However, 10 pounds on your wall for the holidays, I'm not seeing it. But there are wall hangers just in case. Let me just tell you, it is $74.99. $74.99. I literally was thinking about it. I was like, can I make this for like $2? Because I have a feeling I can. Because you know me, we've got some scrap wood here as well as behind us. So this scrap wood is the continuation of the scrap wood that we used for the pallet mirror. This is what remains of that. And then that plywood was on my side yard. It's been rained and weathered and whatnot, but that doesn't bother me. We're gonna use it. So far, wood free. Secondly, I rated my paint and stain area and all of that is free. So here's my plan. This is gonna be my backer because I don't necessarily love it. It doesn't have like a natural wood feel to me. And then the plywood is going to be the front of it. That's going to be the white. Now for the backer, I found Hale's fucking old Olympic Maximum Deck, Fence, and Siding Stain. And I have a lot of it. So I'm gonna stain all of these brown. And then I have some old white paint. And what I thought that I would do was I would water this down and then do a white wash over that for the top. That's the plan. And so far, $0. Like 0. And I'm sure you're in the same predicament I am. Spare wood, spare paint. If you don't have any wood, literally a sheet of plywood, the cheapy plywood at the Lowe's, I want to say is like $14. It's kind of sad that I know the price of cheap plywood. Yeah, if you don't have any scrap wood, I would just make this whole puppy out of plywood. You know, we make a lot of shit out of plywood, and once you stain it or once you paint it, it looks amazing. So, first step, let's stain our backer boards. Okay, so this stain is gonna be as much of a surprise for you as it is going to be for me, but I'm kind of hoping that it's not that old. It sounds super liquidy, so that's a plus. I can't get it open for shit, because you know I'm not going out and buying new stain. Hail to the no. It's just a holiday decoration for Pete's sakes. And really my main objective is A, I do think it's cute. When I'm done, if it turns out as cute as the one that I saw in the Kirklands, I'm probably going to give it to my mother-in-law. But B, I want to just prove to the Kirklands that they're fucking ridiculous. $75, seriously. So, our can, ooh, it smells like stain. It smells good to go. So, can of stain is open, let's stain. I have my ever popular trusty staining towel. I'm just gonna do this haphazardly Literally these boards, all you are going to see is like maybe 2 inches around the whole thing. I could save on some stain and some time and only do the outer 2 inches, but we're gonna do the whole thing. So let's just rub this on. I just want this brown, that's all. And make sure to get the edges because you will see the edges. I like it. It's a nice brown color. Getting it on my hands, but that's how we roll. Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna stain the 3 of these, then call it done. And I'm only gonna stain the front. I'm not gonna worry about the back. The staining of the boards, done. I mean, I have a lot of stain under my fingernails, but I didn't get any on my clothes, so that's a plus. Next up is the plan for the plywood that we are going to whitewash with this old paint that's not moving. And the reason why we're staining and painting first before we cut all of our boards is because I didn't want to have to take the time to stain each individual board. It doesn't mean we won't have to go touch up some of our boards at the end, but touching up is way easier than staining and painting 85,000 million individual boards. So that's why we're pre-doing everything. I have a bad feeling about this can of white paint. It's not moving at all. But who knows, maybe once I water it down, which was my plan, because I want to get more of a whitewash look, it'll like loosen right up and be as good as new. Ooh, it's liquidy. Oh, hell yeah. This is totally gonna work. So I'm gonna just put some water in this and stir it around until, I don't know, I think it's thin enough to like, you know, rub on like a stain. So I'm gonna get it like a stain kind of a texture. Grab a new towel that's not covered in brown stain and then come back and whitewash this. So I went and just put regular old tap water right directly in the can. There wasn't enough paint in here for me to be like, ooh, let's pour some out and save some paint for later. It's this consistency. Yeah, kind of runny. New towel. I know this board is completely dirty and gross and has cobwebs on it and stuff, but I'm gonna go right over the top of all of that because the snowman does have, like in the description it said, farmhouse feel. So it's not pristine, fresh, crisp wood. It looks weathered. So I'm gonna leave all this dirt and shit on here and just go right over the top of it. So let's see how this turns out. And we'll see if we need to thin it down anymore or if we like it. Because we do want the wood grain to show through. And it is. It's doing a lovely job. That's cute, actually. Hell yeah, Kirkland's. You know what I always say. Suck it. So let me do this. You don't need to watch this. And then we'll move on to the table saw. Well, first we're gonna make a pattern and then the table saw. We are officially done with the brown stain and the whitewash. So now what we need to do is we're gonna move the whitewash boards away and we're gonna create our pattern on our 3 brown stained boards. So we need to make our snowman shape. I'm gonna try to get it as close as possible, width and height, to the one we saw at the Kirklands because we are gonna try to recreate this like spotting on so we can say, suck it Kirklands, we made this for like hopefully $0. I don't know why $2 is in my mind. Like, what would I spend $2 on? So far, all of the supplies are right here in my garage, and I bet they're in your garage too. So everything is slats. The back wood is slats. The front wood is slats. It's all slatted wood. The back, like brown, they literally have the slats almost like they sawed them all, made these slats, then they put all the slats back together because the whole back of the snowman looks like they wood glued all of the brown slats together and then like staple gunned it to hold it in place. And then what I'm thinking is once they had all the slats put back together, then they cut their snowman shape out. Did the same thing for the white boards too. So I'm thinking, which is a super pain in the ass, we have to cut this all down to slats, then put it all back together, then jigsaw out our snowman shape. So I was sitting here thinking, is there a way around it, at least for the back? Could we pretend they're slats? Because you literally are only seeing maybe an inch of brown. Can I just cut the snowman shape out and then take my jigsaw and go row, row, like an inch in? That would save so much time. It would save a shit ton of time. But would that work? Because it would leave a gap. I just better cut a bunch of damn slats, even though that's so time consuming. So if I were you and you didn't want to try to duplicate this exactly, and if I were myself, I would do my snowman shape and then fake the slats. But theirs is legit slats. The whole backer, the whole front of the snowman is slatted wood that they've put together and then put wood on top. We'll figure it out. We're gonna bring out the table saw and we're gonna cut some slats. We're just gonna cut slat after slat after slat after slat. It'll be fast. It's the table saw. It's like the putting back together is the dumb part. Maybe that's why it was $75. Whoever engineered this didn't really think it through, and it took them 17 years to make one. So that's why they had to charge $75 for it. So we have the table saw out and we are gonna go a little extra. I'm gonna cut the slats and then I'm actually going to sand all of the edges and then re-stain the edges, and then I'm gonna put it back together willy-nilly so that we have some variance, so it looks more natural and organic. I'm gonna cut a good majority the width of my level, and then I'm gonna cut some a little bit bigger, and I think that'll be fine. Yeah, you know how this works. We used this before. We crank up our blade to the thickness of our wood, which is not very thick at all. We put whatever we're using as our template width up against the blade, and we shimmy our little, this thing over. So now we know all of the wood that we cut is going to be the same width. I love the table saw. As you know, I don't use it on a table. This is like a portable one. You can put it wherever you want, and I choose to put it on the ground. It's real loud, don't forget. Ready, get set, go. Okay, but do you see why I love the table saw? It's freaking fast, and all those boards are exactly the same width. Next, I think I'm just gonna shimmy this over like a hair. The next ones I do will be a little bit wider than the ones I just did. So, table saw. If you own one and you're like, I never used it because I'm nervous. There's a blade right here. You're not a dum-dum and you're not gonna put your hand in the blade. Don't get me wrong. When I start getting real thin in the wood, I do get a little nervous, but just be careful. Just don't run the wood through with your fingers like this. You'll be fine. It probably is easier for most to have this elevated so that you don't have to bend down. There is a lot of sawdust created. It would be smart to wear like protective eyewear, but I'm a professional, so don't worry about me. But you wear protective eyewear. So I'm telling you all the correct ways to do it, and then I'm showing you all of the incorrect ways to do it. That's how I roll. The point of the story is, don't be scared of the table saw. The table saw is amazing. It is your friend. It helps you get work done so much faster. Can you imagine if we used the circular saw? It would have taken for days. And now we're gonna bust out these two other ones, plus those white ones, and we're gonna be done before you know it. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut those now. So all of our brown boards are cut into slats. I'm actually gonna leave the table saw the width that I just finished, which is a little wider than my level. I'm gonna cut maybe like half of this plywood at that width, and then I'll skinny it in for the remainder of this plywood and then that little section over there. This plywood is gonna be a little bit more cumbersome because it's a little wider. We can manage. All right, here we go. I had to take a pause on that piece because my table saw kept sliding. The plywood's a lot heavier than the brown wood. I need to put something in front of my table saw so it doesn't move on me as I'm pushing. So I cut as many at this thickness that I want. So now I'm gonna go back to the thickness that is my level, and then we'll have all of our strips done so that we can put them all back together again. Yay. See, that was fast. We got all of the strips cut and it's just barely wanting to be super dark. I am going to clean all of this up. We will reconvene in the morning and finish this puppy up. Best part is we haven't even worked that long. Maybe we've been out in the garage for 2 hours and look at all we've gotten done. So all we need to do is put our slats back together, cut out our shape, plop those puppies on, put a kickstand on, and then we're done. So let's come back tomorrow. Okay. It is a beautiful morning, perfect for finishing up this holiday DIY. You can see back there, we have all of our slats cut, and now we're going to put them together. So I got out my wood glue. It's the Titebond original wood glue, not sponsored, but they should sponsor me. I go through this stuff like crazy. And then I have out my staple gun. Basically, we're gonna put it all back together so it's one giant rectangle of slats glued and stapled together. I'm gonna grab them and lay them out face down so we can glue them and then staple the back, and then we'll flip it over and we'll put a couple staples in the front just to hold it all together while the glue dries. And then we'll do the same thing for our white slats. Pile of brown wood slats. We're gonna lay them out in no particular order. We want the randomness. Even though the randomness is slight, our cuts should be straight enough to where they'll easily, fingers crossed, be glued and stapled perfectly. Easy, easy, easy. So we're just working our way, lining these back up. It seems real silly that we cut them just to put them back together, but if we want to achieve the look that the Kirklands achieved for their $75 snowman, this is what we gotta do. So now that we're all laid out just how we like it, we're gonna glue and staple. No like special secret here. Run a bead of glue along our long edge, glue to the next one, staple. It doesn't have to be a shit ton, just enough. Make sure my edges are as close as possible. Press that together. Just split the seam, press, and staple, staple. Yay, now that's holding it. I might have to get a hammer those down a little bit. Next piece, oops. Try not to be super sloppy with it, Sheri, geez Louise. Now, I'm not coming all the way to the end with my staples because we know we're gonna trim this up and I don't want my jigsaw blade to run into any of my staples. I'm coming in a pretty good amount, like 5 or 6 staples. Look at that, almost back to a solid piece of wood. Glue, staple, hammer, glue, staple, hammer, all the way down. So that is done. I was considering the shape of my snowman, and so as I was getting closer to the top, I wasn't even really paying attention to getting glue on the far ends, nor did I put staples there. I just focused my staples more in the center and left my ends unstapled and pretty much unglued. So now that that's done, we're gonna gingerly flip it over and stick some staples on the front side, just to kind of hold it together. I'm gonna focus those staples in the front, more in the middle, because I don't want any staples to show on the outer edges. It's just for extra stability while the wood glue dries. As we lift it, there might be some cattywampusness, but just be real careful. Oh. Pull my sheet away. Move it, sheet. You're no good to me. Yay, perfect, love it. It looks like it should look. I'm pretty impressed. While it did take a little bit of time, it does give us that shiplap look that this snowman has. Like I said, I'm just gonna put maybe 2 to 4 staples in the front, closer to the center, just for added security. And then we can bring our whiteboards and do the exact same thing. That's really fast. It wasn't too bad. All my staples are hammered in super, super flat, super flush with the brown boards. So I feel really good about that. And now that we've gotten our feet wet with putting this one back together, we're gonna go ahead and pull the whiteboards over and we're gonna do the same thing there. And then we get to cut out our Santa shape. I've been dying, I've been saying, and then we get to cut out our Santa shape like every 5 minutes, and we haven't gotten to that part yet. After these are put back together, the Santa shape happens. Faux show. I brought my whiteboards over, and because this was scrap plywood in a variety of sizes, I'm pretending this is the bottom, the widest part of the snowman, and this is the top. So I organized my wood that way. So if you're doing this the same way and you have some scrap wood, some's a little longer, some's a little shorter, just make sure as you're going along and you're getting to the shorter pieces that you're centering those pieces, because your snowman's gonna come up the center of all of these boards. We are gonna do exactly what we did on the brown with the white. Glue, staple, hammer. Glue, staple, hammer. So let's get to that. Whiteboards, glued, stapled, hammered. And because I knew that I couldn't staple the whiteboards from the front side, I kind of went crazy on the staples on the back side, because the back is getting glued to the front of the brown. You want, just like we did on the front of the brown, you want those staples really hammered in, really nice and flush. And for a cold November day, it is not cold at all. So we're gonna slide this one out, put our hair up, slide the brown one in, and create our snowman pattern, and then jigsaw it out. So what we are looking at is the back side of our brown wood. And we're gonna draw the pattern of our snowman on the back side of this, because in case we screw up, we don't want a bunch of pen or pencil marks on the front side. So what do we know about this snowman? We know he's 47 inches tall, 28 inches wide. This is where it gets difficult, because it doesn't tell you, like, they're not giving you directions. It doesn't say, like, this part of the snowman comes up about halfway, and then the middle part of the snowman, like you would want to say, since it's basically 4 pieces, bottom, middle, head, and hat. The bottom looks like it takes up maybe about 1/3, and then the middle, head, and hat take up the remaining 2/3. We're just gonna have to play around with the way the shape is and then figure it out and make it look as close to this as possible. So first, let's get a pencil and figure out where our center points are, and then we'll go from there. So let's just mark our center points at 23.5. And now we know it's 47. Here's where our curve starts, and here's the top of our hat. Now the fun begins. Like, does his hat look like it's 12 inches, 6 inches? I think I just made it kind of easy. I can literally see in this picture, like, how many boards high everything is. I'm guessing that my boards are similar in width to these. I mean, these look like they're about the width of my level, and therefore I'm gonna count the boards. So I know his hat, before it goes out to the brim, is 3 boards. This is 1 board, 2 board, 3 board. Right at that line of the 3rd board is where his brim comes out. We're just gonna mark that. And then his head is 1, 2, 3. It starts to taper into his neck. 5 boards for his body. And then, let's see if my boards line up. 5, 6, 7, 8. 5, 6, 7. Oh my gosh! Kirkland's! Ha ha! I got your number. So this comes out and around like that. That's perfect! So now we just gotta make our shapes be beautiful and not like this. The widest part of the snowman's body comes out at about the 5th board from the bottom. So I marked an arrow on the 5th board. So I got this barrel. We're gonna make that be the shape of our circle. You see where I'm going? I'm gonna trace this outer edge. And on this side, I'm gonna do the same thing. Ooh, look it. There's his bottom. Oh, that's looking good. Okay, I almost feel like the entire barrel roundness, if I just set it in the middle, can be his middle body. Yeah, like that. I'm liking where this is going. You know, and this is farmhouse, so it's not like super perfect. And now his head, I think, is the size of a bucket. So let's go get a bucket. We're looking good. So placed my bucket here. We want to mimic the U shapes we made here. See how that works? I'm gonna finesse the head. Finesse the head. I said finesse the head. That's perfect! Oh my gosh, we're amazing. Now we just have the brim and his hat. That's easy, right? Start his brim about here. Let's make it go out 6. That sounds good. And then straight up to our top of our hat. So there it is. There's our snowman shape. He looks good. Okay, I had to have Davis help me get it on the sawhorses because it was a little precarious. The center is supported. I have one of my sawhorses going long ways and one of my sawhorses going this way. For some reason, I like this side better than I like this side. So my plan is I'm gonna cut this side out, and then just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna take the cut pieces of wood and move them to this side just to see how symmetrical we are. And it's this side of his head. I mean, clearly you can tell I went at it like 80 times. So that's my biggest concern, and I'm gonna use the cut pieces of this as a template for this side. So my first order of business is cut this with my jigsaw. Curves. That way, hopefully, we're one fell swoop. Done. You know I love me some jigsaw. Not sponsored by Black & Decker. And I'll link this one below, but they're not expensive and they're the greatest tool on the planet. There's a plate right here. You put that plate flush with your board. There's a little divot right there. You just put the line in the divot and you start jigsawing. That's it. Easy. So here we go. That's a good stopping point as we're coming back up. Just be aware of where your staples are. We know this underneath staples are more geared toward the center, so I'm not worried about those at all. There's his belly. Let's keep going. So we have our one side jigsawed, and I picked up all of my scraps and I rebuilt it on the other side just to see how we line up symmetrically. This shape, pretty good. When it gets into the belly, not so awesome. And actually the outer line for the head looks pretty good too. I just wanna kinda fix this just a hair. Now we're gonna come way out for the belly. And then I had to end up going in more here because as I was looking underneath to make sure I didn't have any staples, I literally had a staple like right here. And this all looks pretty good. Good idea on my part. I'm brilliant for taking the scrap from that side and putting it over here. I mean, it was helpful to draw both sides so you could see where the center was. But once you do jigsaw out your one side, just take that scrap and just make sure everything is symmetrical. And then you'll be just like Kirkland's. Yay, brilliant and genius. Okay, let's jigsaw the other side. Note to self, things start getting real fucking precarious when you are jigsawing because you are taking out a lot of the staples that you use to secure all of your slats. So as I'm coming around, I'm noticing I don't have a lot of staples in the center. And I'm not gonna lie, his neck fell off. So I had to remove him from the sawhorses, put him back on the ground, re-glued him, and added a shit ton of staples. So be aware. It was kind of going south the more wood I took away because there was really nothing holding the center together. And our wood glue isn't completely dry because, you know, we got shit to do and we don't have time to wait the 24 hours that it recommends. Maybe do one side, then remove it, reinforce it, come back, do the other side. I think that's a good plan. So I'm gonna finish up this jigsaw that. We're gonna put him on the ground and transfer this pattern to our whiteboard thing over there. I've slid my white shiplap boards back in. Now we are going to lay the brown one on top of this one and trace it. We do know that the white one comes in a little bit more so you can see the brown, but we need to get the general shape, and then we can say, oh, now from that outline, let's come in about 1.5 inches all the way around. And bring him on in. I'm just gonna center him as best as possible. Yeah, perfect. Now, let's just trace this. Boom. So now we can take him off and then decide how much smaller we want the white to be. From our Kirkland's picture, it kind of looks like about 1 inch. I mean, I feel like it's 1 inch. We're gonna make it 1 inch. So I am going to keep my edge of my ruler on my main outline, and I'm gonna make little tick marks an inch in, and then I'm gonna connect those dots, and those dots are where we are going to cut. Okay, so I have all my dots, and then for the most part, I don't need to draw in these lines because I have enough dots. But I am gonna go around and put some staples on the inside so we don't have the same, hopefully we don't have the same problem happen with the white that we did with the brown. We have our white board upside down on our sawhorses. I'm nervous about this one, I'm not gonna lie, because there are no staples on the other side. I don't feel that this is as secure, and that one wasn't that secure either. So we need to be really careful when we're jigsawing. You know, just make sure the weight is evenly distributed. You know, when boards come off of that side, shimmy the sawhorses more this side, that whole thing. The jigsawing might take a little bit longer on this one, but we're gonna be careful. We don't want anything falling apart on us. So let's shake off our nerves and start to jigsaw, and fingers crossed, all goes well. Okay, so I'm not gonna lie, right away, I had a casualty. I mean, this is real life. Why fucking hide it, dude? I lost my bottom two pieces. So I'm just gonna put those off to the side. We'll glue those and staple that back in when I'm done with all of this. Shit happens. Jigsawing, take two. I'm not gonna lie, cutting out the white snowman with no staples, I don't know why the staples underneath make a big difference, but they do. It was a pain in my ass. I figured out why they charge $75 because cutting a pattern out of strips of boards that have been glued and stapled together is no easy task. It was just like cut a board, move a jigsaw, hold it in place, cut another little slat, move it, cut it, move it. Make sure it doesn't fall apart. So here's our brown one. Our white one is turned upside down. What we need to do before we can put our white one on top of our brown one is the back of this snowman has supports because it has two like here and then like two closer in, and then it also has a kickstand. Because I want to screw in my supports from the top down, I don't want those screw holes to show. So I'm gonna go ahead and cut my supports, screw from the top down. So I'm gonna need to flip this over, measure it, cut some wood from just some scraps. It's literally just scrap wood that we're gonna use. Our kickstand can wait, but our supports cannot. So let's go get some scrap wood, cut it down to size, glue it, and screw it. This is a total side note because the gardeners across the way are leaf blowing. Fred, across the street, he does not have gardeners, and it's the neighbors next to him that have gardeners. I literally watched the gardeners. They blew all of the leaves from the house they're working on, just all fucking over to Fred. Seriously, I'll show you. It's insane. Hold on. Maybe he's gonna go in the backyard. Oh, no, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, I can't show you because now, okay, they're being nice. I lied. He's raking them up now, but we'll see exactly how many leaves he rakes up. Okay, we're done spying on the gardeners. He didn't do that good of a job of raking up. There's still a shit ton of leaves over on Fred's side. And he parks on the street, so they're all under his car. I'm floored right now. Okay, moving on. Let's focus, Sheri. Let's not worry about the gardeners and Fred's leaves situation. I know that we need to screw in from the bottom, but because we'll be screwing top down, I want to kind of mark where my boards are going to go on the front so I know where my screws are. I think that's good. Now I'm just gonna draw a line on the inside. We may not be lined up perfectly on the back side when we flip this over, but at least it kind of tells us where we might be. Now let's get some wood glue. Boop, 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 boop. Nothing too serious. I'm gonna make my A here, then I'm gonna flip this over and then we'll adjust. Flip him. Perfect. So now we will adjust. Look around. I like where that is. That looks good, or it feels good. So that all seems good. Now let's screw all that in. Got my screws and my screw gun. And I'm maybe gonna do, I don't know, 4. Boom, boom, boom. I don't have to screw a shit ton because it's wood glued. So that's good. Okay, yay. When you're doing this, you gotta make sure the screws go way down. We still have to glue the white one on top of this, so we don't want any lumps and bumps. Put some pressure. Perfect. Okay, great. Now, let's screw the other support in. Glued and screwed. Look at that. Boom. And now I feel like so good about picking this up and flipping it over. It's super, super secure from the backside, so that's good. Before I get my white and glue it onto my brown, what I want to do is I want to hit these edges right here with the brown stain, and I want to hit the white with the white wash paint. Should I sand the edges? Yeah, I think I want to round these edges just a hair. Then I'm going to stain, and then I'm going to whitewash, and then we'll glue them together. How does that sound? Sounds great, Sheri. You're brilliant. I know you guys. I have my snowman on my sawhorses, handy dandy palm sander. So I'm just going to go around real quick. Sand. Easy. Our edges are nice and sanded and kind of rolled over smooth. I feel so good about how secure this is now that I have that A-frame on the back of it. I mean, look, I'm holding the can of paint on there. So I'm just gonna real quick dip this in, rub this along the edge. Real quick. I'm taking it in just a hair so that everything matches. The part that's gonna show, I'm just bringing my stain up and in just a little bit. Oh my gosh, he's looking so cute. Brown all around. Let's finish up staining this, and then we're gonna bring our precarious white one up, sand that, and whitewash that. Okay, white snowman is on the sawhorses and ready to be sanded. Carefully, very, very carefully. Our white snowman is looking really good. And now I'm even happier because we are gonna glue him onto the brown guy. So back to the floor. I wiped off whatever dust I could from brown guy, flipped over white guy. We are literally gonna load this white guy up with a shit ton of glue, put him on top, and then put some paint cans and shit on there so that he gets pressed down really nice. Get all my edges, glue, just glue. Lots and lots of glue, because that's the only thing keeping the white on the brown. We can't screw into it, so use it. Lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots. I'm feeling the difficult part is gonna be flipping this over and not making a huge glue mess, but let's give it a shot. Don't forget, white guy, super delicate. You're gonna notice that when I pick him up, he's gonna go like this. Kind of get him lined up as best I can on this side, and then plop him down. Yep, and then let's move him. Okay, that was easy. We might have to wipe up some glue. Oh my God, but look how cute. Okay, quick. We need to get this glue wiped up. I love him so much. The glue does dry clear, but in my mind, it dries kind of a yellowy. Okay, I think we're good. Good. No staples. Perfect. Let's weigh it down. Okay, I have every damn paint can under the sun weighing this puppy down. Unfortunately, I can't really move on until the white is glued to the brown. And I wanted to finish this sucker tonight. I can't be picking it up and flipping it over and putting on a kickstand and adding holly berry and whatnot to the front of it until it's dry. All we can do is wait, so we're gonna wait. This is gonna dry and we're gonna wait for it to do so. Okay, here he is. The white is completely adhered to the brown, and he is amazing. Like, seriously, look at him. He's great. And all we have left to do really is the little kickstand. So it's gonna hinge here, a leg's gonna come out with a little cross beam here that's attached to like a little piece of twine so the kickstand doesn't like go out from underneath him. Then we have to do our embellishments on the front. He does have a little like holly berry on his hat, and then in the Kirklands, he has these words that say, "Let it snow," in red. I never liked those words. They're not my style. I just don't. So believe me, I toyed with this. I've asked many different opinions. Should I do something that I don't like just because we're recreating a we can make that? Even though I'm not keeping this and I'm giving it as a gift, it is a reflection on something that I made. Like, I want to be proud and give a gift that I'm proud of, that I actually really like. So I'm toying with not putting the words on there. Now, don't come for me on that. The words would be very easy. If you wanted to put Let It Snow or Merry Christmas, or I don't even know. If you wanted words on your snowman, you could totally do it if it's your style. It just isn't my style. I would literally just cursive, like a block letter cursive, and then I'd cut it out with my jigsaw, paint it red, and glue it on here with wood glue, just like I glued the white onto the brown. I don't like it. I don't think I'm gonna do it. Is it gonna make this value of this one any less than the value of the Kirklands? Okay, let's knock $10 off the price of the Kirklands because we don't have any words. Okay, guess what? We still spent $0 on this snowman. So either way, words, no words, we're coming out ahead. I am going to do the holly berries, and I'm toying with theirs is wood. Everything on theirs is wood. But I also thought it might be cute to take like a faux wreath and actually cut like 2 little wreath sprigs in holly berries, which I have many a faux Christmas wreath, garland, what have you, which would be super cute too. But for now, let's focus on the kickstand, because we know we have to do that, because this ain't happening. And we're not leaning him against the wall. We want him freestanding, so you can put him anywhere in your yard or your house if you choose. So I'm going to get a couple pieces of scrap wood. I actually have some hinges. Hinges are not expensive, like $2 for a 2-pack. I don't think they're that expensive. Or you could not hinge it and you can literally lean it against a wall. But I'm trying to make this as exact as possible, minus those words. So let's get some scrap wood and get that done. I scavenged in my wood pile and I was looking for wood that I did not need to cut that was the perfect size, and I think I found it. We have our long stick that's gonna go here, and that's actually gonna have the hinge on it. And then we need the little piece of wood to support it when it's leaning back. And you want your little piece of wood to not be bigger than your A-frame support on the back, because you want this to be able to like fold flat, basically. We're gonna screw this piece onto this piece, and then we're gonna hinge this whole thing onto the snowman so that it goes like this. And then we are going to get like a twine to the snowman and to here so that it stops it from going whoop, like that. And that's all we need to do. So making the kickstand is probably the easiest part of this whole damn thing. We're gonna put this together in like 0 time. This is pretty thick. I mean, it's a piece of a 2x4. So I needed to go through the 2x4 and into here, but not poke out. So I have these perfect size screws. And then this is my hinge. I think this is like a gate hinge, maybe? This is the perfect size hinge for this piece of wood. So we're gonna screw the hinge to here, and then this part of the hinge will screw onto the snowman. Okay. So I have my screws in my little base. I did split my wood, kind of as per my MO, but don't worry, I filled it in with wood glue, so we're fine. So now we are going to get our hinge, and we wanna make sure closes flat and then opens into like an L or a V. I wanna make sure that my actual hinge, the little ball thing, is above my piece of wood. This way it gives it free range of motion. Even though we'll never open up the hinge that far, we're giving it all the range of motion just in case. I shouldn't have any problem with splitting this wood because these screws are so little. Yay! So in order to make sure that we have our kickstand in the right spot, what I want to do is I want to do like a demo of how the snowman would be standing and how far back I want it to lean. I want him to lean about this. I think that's good. That's a good amount of lean. So I'm going to screw my hinge on this line here. So that's where he's going to go. So I have a piece of wood and I'm hoping that this will just lean and then I won't need another hand. Oh, my other hand worked. I think we're good. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Yay. Okay, and see? Boom. We do need to put the little string there for extra support because what we don't want to have happen and then fall. And we don't want that. This I actually got at the Dollar Tree. The Dollar Tree. This I actually got at the Dollar Tree. So if you don't have the twine, it will cost you $1. I have my snowman in the proper lean. Lean back. Lean back. That's what I was thinking of. I want to double mine just so it's extra thick. So I'm going to cut it about here. That's my length. Double it up. Perfect. And now we're going to put a little screw in this side and a little screw in this side and then tie our twine to each of those screws. See? Look at that. So he won't ever fall backwards. And he's not going to fall side to side because he's stable. He is really stable. We did a really good job. Although I do like him super plain, I think it might be cute to put the little holly berry like in the picture. And I really think I want to do like real wreath twigs. Don't you think that would look cute? Am I veering from the Kirklands? Yes, I am. But I think ours is gonna be cuter with this little veer. Seriously, why is he so damn cute? Even plain, he is adorable. And then I was thinking, oh, instead of words, you could cut out wooden circles and paint them black and do like black buttons here if you wanted to. You could do anything on the front of him. An actual like real life scarf and have it hanging down. That might be cute too. My mother-in-law is gonna fucking flip her lid when she sees this. Am I worried that she's gonna see it during this video? No, I don't think she watches my channel, to be quite honest. So I have this old wreath that literally I don't hang anymore. It's just hanging in the garage. I don't know why I haven't thrown it away, but it's for probably things like this. Like first do this little cluster of 3, hot glue those on, and then put my poinsettia and my little holly leaf like that. I do have my hot glue gun. So let's do these first. So let's lay them down. Just ignore the high-pitched shrill of the rake going across cement. So I'm just gonna glue these on. That's already cute. Now let's make him even cuter. Glue him down. Oh my gosh, so cute. It's beyond cute. You guys will see it in a second. Okay, no, really. You guys are going to die. He is so fucking cute. I can't even take it. Get ready to everybody simultaneously yell, Kirkland's can suck it when they see this snowman and what we did for $0. Dun 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 dun. Look at him. I really do. I know some people may not like it, and you can tell me in the comments. I wasn't feeling the let it snow, and I love him so much without it. He is so darling. Happy holidays to us. No, really. He's seriously darling. I'm so happy that I saw him at the Kirklands and that he was $75. Because if he was like 20 bucks, I wouldn't have tried to recreate it. I don't think I would have just bought the one at the Kirklands. I can't even say it enough. We can do anything. When you're out and about and you see something that is ridiculously overpriced and you look at it and you think, seriously, that's like scrap wood and paint, go home and make it. We're out $0. If this turned out looking like shit, we would be out $0. Would we be out 2.5 days of work? Yeah, but as far as money is concerned, $0. You have nothing to lose. Get in your garage and just make something. I mean, clearly I am passionate about like DIY and working in the garage and getting my hands dirty. I know that is not for everyone, and maybe in the house DIY is more your speed. But same thing goes there. I mean, you know, for Thanksgiving, we saw those centerpieces and those were like 50 and 60 bucks. And what did we make that for with Dollar Tree products? 20 bucks? How can you not? This is like living proof right here. And maybe you don't have as many scraps of wood or screws or hinges in your garage. But guess what? You start doing these projects, you'll accumulate those scraps of wood for future projects. So don't worry about it. Gosh, I feel like you can make this if you had to buy every single thing. I bet you could save half the price. I'm not even joking with you. You need a gift for your mother-in-law? This is fucking perfect. So yeah, and she's gonna have no idea that I spent $0. She's gonna think I bought it at the Kirklands for $75. So it's a win, win. No, I will tell her that I made it because she loves that. She loves when I make hers. And that it's just more meaningful too, especially around the holidays. I'm squinting super bad because the sun is like really right here. I love him. I think we did an amazing job. Yeah, that's it. We're done. If you liked this video, please be sure to give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. Be sure to ring that notification bell so that you are notified of all of the DIY Wednesday videos I push out, which are every other Wednesday at 5:30 Pacific Standard Time. Be sure to share this video with your family and friends. And as always, thanks for hanging out.